Fans, it is the Bears Brothers podcast. Week 9 of the NFL season is here. We are ready to go. The Bears stand at 4-3 right now. I'll tell you what, Rick, this is going to be a lot, but this is where you tell your players it's better to be 5-3 than 4-4 for sure. I'm Eric. This is Rick. We're going to discuss the Bears Bengals coming up tomorrow. But first, Rick, we have to apologize to all of our dozens of fans out there. Rick and I haven't done a podcast in a couple weeks, and we've both been pretty under the weather, and we just wanted to apologize for that. Rick, how are you feeling now? Because I'm still a little bit on the tail end of this.
Yeah, I'm awake, which is much more than I can say for yesterday. I'm at that point, when you have a cold where you finally start to feel like almost like a regular person, but everything is just slowly coming out of you, just snot everywhere and hacking up along. Um, I was also talking about how I've been taking the one thing that really works for me, especially when I'm sick, is NyQuil. I can tell you, as a Bears fan, I like to have a few beers during the game, maybe even a couple shots of Malort. And when I'm done, I can calmly go through my nighttime activities and get into bed safely and feed all the animals. I take one shot of NyQuil. I better be feet from my bed because otherwise I wake up in a pool of my own sweat in the kitchen floor, wondering what happened. That stuff knocks me right out. And I wake up the next morning like I smoked 3 bowls of marijuana. Like I can barely remember my own name. I've cotton mouth like you wouldn't believe. Hangovers, I'm almost 48. Hangovers not really effective. NyQuil, I'm 17 again.
And I can attest to that because I've actually seen you on NyQuil, and it's wild. It's
Just
wild.
it works, but man, the side effects are unbelievable.
Crazy, crazy. My wife and I actually started doing this calm drink, which is basically like a magnesium thing that's in a powder, and it basically is kind of like a NyQuil, but it's not to fight a cold or anything. It's just to literally just like calm you down, even if you've had a few cocktails and just kind of like go to sleep and stay asleep. So that's really, really good. But yeah, for me, I've had this cold, I think, ever since I got back from Baltimore. I think I just felt all the cold offensive play that we had against the Ravens while in Baltimore. So it just carried
Giving me
with
the
me.
stomach flu with that.
Yeah, right. It would just kind of carried. What a boring game that was. I know we're going to talk about. I know we're going to talk about the Bengals, but let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens game first. That was just
Yeah.
like a weird game. And my wife's just not a huge football fan. She was like, I don't even know what's going on. And I'm like, neither does half the other people in this entire stadium. Like, it
It
was a
didn't seem like there was energy. I mean, you were there, but from watching on TV, it didn't even seem like there was a lot of energy from Baltimore. Like, let's go. They were sort of like, hey.
no, because a lot of it was even at halftime. Like everybody that I was talking to who are Ravens fans, they were like, "Oh yeah, the Ravens are going to win," but you could tell they weren't really feeling it. And even at halftime, when they were looking, it was like 10-6. I believe that the Ravens were up at that point in time. And people are looking at each other like, "Well, I was expecting a lot worse, so this is kind of fun."
Yeah.
So this was kind of a like a surprise victory for the Ravens fans and for Bears fans as well. But now we're running into the same kind of week, Rick, where we have again a team that's the Bears should be able to beat right now, considering all injuries and everything else. They are favored by 2.5 points. They've got
Yeah.
Joe, my arm is falling off Flacco.
Yeah.
And I believe as of right now of taping this podcast, they've got no Trey Hendrickson on defense. So let's do our first part of the Bears Bengals preview, and I'm going to call it the "We Need a Backiotomy" segments. Because right now in the week 9 of the NFL, nobody is completely safe and healthy. Everybody has some kind of thing going on. Rick, there's a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. What are you expecting to see in terms of like who even shows up and who's going to step up and replace? Like, for example, DeAndre Swift is going to be out tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Mena guys look great, so I'm not terribly worried about the Bears run game. They also tend to do some creative things using DJ Moore in the run game, which I think is great, getting him the ball. He's a playmaker. Travis Horner, I think, is going to be coming up. I mean, I remember seeing that kid on special teams some. He always looks good in the preseason. He's kind of a change of pace back, which is nice. I mean, he's not as a big bruiser like Monangai is, but it's kind of if they give him the ball in the same way they were giving Swift the ball off the edge, if he can turn that edge, especially against the Bengals defense, that's kind of pathetic against the run, I think the running game will be just fine.
Yeah, they do a lot of stretch cutback plays. That was something that I
Yeah.
noticed, not only just on tape, but also watching the game in Baltimore because I was at the end zone watching everything. By the way, side notes, I was jumping out of my chair when Kevin Byard almost got that interception late in the game because I saw
Oh, I
all
know.
the way down the sideline. He was completely open for a touchdown, or it would have changed the game for sure. So
Maybe that's why he dropped it. I think he got excited too.
yeah, absolutely. We're getting a couple comments here on YouTube. If you are on here, please like and subscribe. We're saying hello to everybody again. This is the Bears Brothers podcast. I'm Eric. This is Rick. We're discussing the injuries right now for the Bengals and the Bears. And Rick, we're getting some good news. I'll tell you what, DJ Moore has been on the injury report pretty much every single week now, but he is always playing. Say what you want about him and his attitude or whatnot, but that guy is coming to play every single week and not complaining about it whatsoever. Rome is, I believe, so expected to play as well, but you do have Luther Burden out with a concussion, and it looks like Zacchaeus is going to be out as well. Rick, who's going to step up on offense this week?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Loveland to step up. I mean, I know Cole
Mm.
Kmet even is questionable too, so I'm waiting for him to bust out and have a big game. Again, especially against the Bengals defense, that's not very good. Going back to what we were talking about with the Baltimore Ravens too, the thing happened that we didn't want to have happen. Their first two drives ended in field goals, not touchdowns. The Bengals are third worst in the NFL in red zone efficiency. This is a game where you have to score touchdowns and not field goals. And that's where the middle of the field, I think, is a real big advantage for the Bears. Getting Monangai up the middle, hitting Loveland up the seam, drawing attention for Moore and Adunze on the outside, and then hitting right where they're most vulnerable, especially if they don't have a pass rush.
It seems like this will be a topic of conversation throughout the entire season for the Chicago Bears. Two things that they have to do every week: score touchdowns in the red zones rather
Yes.
than field goals, and also stop committing penalties. Tell me if you've heard that one before, Rick. It's every
Especially in
single
the red
week.
zone.
Yeah, it's happening in the red zone. It's every single week. People can't line up right now, which is wild to me. The fact that you don't have your players having any idea, and I get it, this is a very complicated playbook that they are running this year rather than last year. But you have to be able to line up, or at least have somebody next to you be like, dude, back up a step. You're way over the ball.
Well, where's Williams on that? Why isn't Williams looking going, hey, move up?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have your leader know that too. I
Absolutely.
remember, I mean, you played quarterback before. You know that you have to know where every offensive lineman is going, where everyone's going on every single play. So if you see them not lining up correctly, you got to be able to catch that.
Yeah, and the thing is that with the offensive line being, off, or the wide receivers, you all have to like help each other out too. Like that's the reason why you check in with the ref. You'll see the wide receivers; they'll look over and they'll put a hand out for the referee, and they're like, "Hey, I'm on. I'm on. Am I good? Am I good?" And the ref's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you're good." And it's like it's that little tiny thing that they're just not doing, and it's very high school level stuff that's causing them to have 10 penalties every single game, Rick. And that is good enough for at least one turnover, two turnovers, or at least 7 points every single time. And you can't win in the NFL that way, no matter who you're playing at quarterback or no matter who you're playing on the other side of the ball. They could lose to the Jets the way that they're playing right now. But at the
You
same
mean
time,
what
they
the
can beat
Bengals
the
did?
yeah, right. There it is. But at the same time, they can beat somebody like the Packers too, because of the fact that like it seems like we don't know exactly like who we're getting. We definitely have a lot of heart, but right now we're not getting a lot of structure and skill going on.
Yeah. I mean, I can forgive a holding penalty, especially if your quarterback's about to get sacked. I can forgive a defensive holding penalty or defense pass interference if the ball might have been caught. But I cannot forgive these goofy false starts and lining up incorrectly and delay of games and all this stuff that happens pre-snap. What are we doing?
I don't know. And last week we said maybe they were getting too excited because things were really good. I just honestly think that I don't think Caleb Williams and the offensive line are on the same page in terms
No.
of his cadence and in terms of the way that they are actually saying, okay, what are we doing pre-snap here? That's been off. There's been something that is off, and I'm going to start to blame the quarterback on this one because eventually you have to. The
Well,
center is not snapping the ball the right way. It's just weird.
do you think maybe some of it's the coaching too? The offense is overly complicated, or they haven't worked hard enough to get these guys in tune with what's going on?
No, because I would say that to your point, this offense is like learning Chinese. It's very, very difficult, right? And there's so many nuances where if you try to learn a Chinese word that is refrigerator versus a Chinese word that is bicycle, it's the same syllables. It's just one inflection off. And that's exactly what Ben Johnson's offense is. So that is going to take time for sure. But at the same point, you have to be able to go out there and be like, all right, we all have to be on the same page here. So yes, in terms of the coaching might be able to pull it back, but I kind of like the fact that Ben Johnson's like, no, you learn on the curve right now, buddy. Like we will play our best football in December, but right now you got to go through these mistakes. And we're living and dying by those mistakes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Jim H in the comments says, I love big women. Well, then you're going to love this podcast. Wait, there's no women in it, but I am big. So,
Yeah,
hello.
we'll go
How you doing there, man?
there. So, all right, let's not too much throws me off, but that one did right there. Like and subscribe to the channel, I guess.
The channel for
This
big
is
women.
I'm Eric. This is Rick. We are the Bears Brothers podcast. Rick, I'm gonna do this right now. It's kind of I don't have the product in front of me, but we're gonna take a little time out here at 11 minutes and 40 seconds to thank our first ever Rick sponsor for the Bears Brothers podcast. Let's go. So, Rick, let me ask you something. You do your own laundry, right?
Yes, I'm a big boy.
Yes, and you know what the most annoying part about doing the laundry is?
Yes, not finding the cover to the Tupperware.
That's no, that's the dishes, but
Oh,
okay,
darn
cool.
it.
Anyway, no, it's about your socks, right?
Oh,
It's about so what do you do? Every single time that you go and do your laundry, you put the socks in the washer, you then transfer over to the dryer. And for some reason, the socks, when you bundle them up, they're still wet by the end of the cycle. Or the worst part is that you can't find the socks. You always
oh,
lose
so
one or
annoying.
two
I've
to
got
the
one. Where's the other one?
Oh my goodness. It's like what is the solution? Well, the other thing is that the shocks also shrink, they get holes everywhere, but all of those problems are now alleviated thanks to Whipper Snapper socks. These socks are made out of 100% bamboo cotton, so they're oh so soft and comfortable. They never shrink in the dryer or rip and tear because they are made with multi layers of cloth material, meaning that they'll last forever. But most importantly, you will never have to worry about lost socks again due to their patent snaps at the top. You simply just wear them, you snap them together at the ends, you throw them in the laundry, and they will never come apart whatsoever. So go to whippersnappersocks.com, and right now, exclusively for the Bears Brothers podcast fans, they get an exclusive 20% off sale on any order that you have. Just simply type in the promo code the Bears Brothers and you will get 20% off of your Whipper Snapper socks. And Rick, I know that you are on your feet about 10 hours a day for your work shift, right? How badly do your feet stink after that work shift? It
Sometimes it
doesn't
makes me
matter
pass
how
out.
badly your feet are supposed to stink because the bamboo cotton doesn't allow your feet to stink. So you'll have fresh feet even after a 10-hour shift. It's the best of all worlds. You're talking about socks. You keep your feet nice and dry. You're going to have a great time with them because they're comfortable and you're never going to lose them. It's worth it in spades. Whippersnappersocks.com. That was a 3-minute read. We'll take it off eventually. But when you are our first ever sponsor, you deserve a nice long read for sponsoring our podcast. Whippersnappersocks.com, Dub Bears Brothers promo code 20% off. Rick, we nailed it.
Yeah, perfect. No nuts, except way long. But lots of fun. Plus, it's fun to say fast. Whippersnapper socks, whippersnapper socks, whippersnapper socks, whippersnapper socks.
Oh man, yeah, we got a couple of people. Commanders fan over here. You can eat it. I mean, we ate the victory, and it tastes
So,
really
yeah,
good. So, boom.
yummy. Yummy
Uh,
victory.
Aaron Rodgers still gives us nightmares.
True.
Uh,
True.
nah, I'm good. I mean, we play the Steelers later on, but I'm good.
Looking
All
forward to
right,
that game
Rick.
though.
Let's go into our next segment. It is called "Who Has the Edge." We're going to break down the different sides of the ball here. Bears defense, Bears offense versus the other side. We're going to start off actually this time because we've been talking about the Bears offense. We're going to start off with the Bears defense versus the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Cincinnati Bengals have been scoring a lot of points. They got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They got Joe
Ooh.
Flacco. If healthy, he knows how to get the ball out early. But then you look at the other side of the ball, and we signed C.J. Gardner Johnson. We also have Tyreek Stevenson coming back. We also have Austin Booker coming back, and Grady Jarrett is 100% on his participation. The Bears are starting to look a little bit better on defense, but can they match the high-powered offense of the Cincinnati Bengals? Rick, who has the edge?
That's such a tough question. It's one of the reasons I didn't do the Rick Adamas because it really depends on who plays and how well they can play.
Right.
Like you just said, Flacco does not make mistakes, and he is quick, and he can get the ball to his playmakers, and they are dangerous. But he's 400 years old and has a bum shoulder. So I mean, at any moment, that could be the end of. He could be out in the first quarter, and they bring in Browning, and that guy can't throw his cleats on without them getting intercepted. So I mean, it just really depends on what's happening. I don't fear their run game, that's for sure. So I'm not really worried about that. Um, I think the key again is to your best defense is offense. Score a bunch more points and make them one dimensional, and then let the hounds loose on Joe Flacco and hope you get to him before he can throw the ball.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that Flacco gets rid of the ball pretty quick because he has to. Like he's not going to run around a whole heck of a
Yep.
lot. I think that right now, I'm gonna give actually if Joe Flacco is playing, I'm gonna give the edge over to the Cincinnati Bengals offense. They have proven to score a lot of points over a lot of people because their receivers are just that good. And Flacco knows if there's one thing I need to do, it's to get the ball to Jamar Chase.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
right now,
mean,
without Johnson on the other side of the ball, I until the defense proves me wrong and until the Bengals start to flounder, it's going to be the Bengals offense is going to have the edge over the Bears defense.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Unless, like I said, the minute Flacco can't play, then I give the edge to the Bears.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that for sure. And too bad it's not the days of 1980s and 1990s where you could be like, "Hey, go injure that guy," and then they can start the third stringer because that just doesn't happen anymore.
Well, the only protection that Joe Flacco has against the Bears defense is he does get rid of the ball so quickly. So,
Mhm.
I mean, like you said, both Booker and Garrett are back. If they can get some pressure up the middle, or Sweat can get some pressure up the edge and start throwing him off, that's really the only way the Bears take the edge back by literally taking the edge.
Yeah, there you go. Love it. Lickle Wayne says, "My girl is a Bears fan." Well, shout out to your girl. I really do feel your pain, but I love it. You love our pain. All right. Well, I mean, this year we're not having a whole lot of pain. We're 4-3 above 500. This is exactly what we thought we were going to have. So this is actually a lot of fun. We're having a blast here. All right, let's switch it up here, Rick. Let's go Chicago Bears offense versus the Cincinnati Bengals defense. It looks as though Trey Hendrickson is not going to be playing for the Cincinnati Bengals, but it also, again, as we said, it's going to look like DeAndre Swift is not playing for the Chicago Bears. So, who has the edge here during this game? Is it simply something where, since we're playing at Cincinnati, the defense has the edge? But what do you think?
I mean, you just said their best player on the worst defense isn't playing, so the worst defense just got worse.
I tried to
Yeah, I
make it
mean,
interesting. I tried to
no,
make it compelling.
I don't think this is the question. Here's the thing: the only way the Bears offense doesn't play well against the Bengals defense is if the Bears offense hurts the Bears offense.
Mm.
I don't think it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals that take the Bears offense out. I think it's going to be the Bears committing stupid ass penalties, making mistakes in the red zone, and yeah, those two things. I mean, really, I mean, they're going to drive up and down the field and get yards after yards after yards, or missing open wide receivers. Williams has been doing that a little bit lately. If Williams can just complete passes and they can score touchdowns instead of field goals, it's going to be a runaway, a train.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, I predict, is going to have 301 yards, 2 TDs, and 0 INTs, says
Great, I
Quan
agree with
Digley Shinglepin, while also running for 16 yards.
that. That's very
Um,
specific. That sounds like
what
one of the names from the Key and Peele sketch. Juan Digley Shigglepin. University of Miami
I was
cornerback.
I was wondering if I was getting, like, punked here 'cause I was like, "Wait, did I just say one of the" I was trying to think if I said like a Simpsons, like, Moe's Tavern kinda thing. "I pee freely. Ah, who is this kid?"
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it does sound a lot like a Key and Peele.
But I could actually see that line of stats that that guy has put there. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, I totally agree. So it looks like we're predicting right now a high-powered game, at least on offense. Not a
Yeah.
whole lot of stops for the Cincinnati Bengals on their defense, maybe 1 or 2 stops for the Bears. So what are we thinking, Rick? Like, what is going to be the factor then that allows either team to win? So let's start with the Bengals. What do you think is their factor for winning this game?
Goading the Bears into mistakes.
Mhm.
Getting them to pre-snap penalties, getting them to I don't know. Basically, the Bears screwing up is what I'm going to say, and being opportunistic when they do. When Caleb Williams floats one, the safety's there to pick it off.
I see what you're saying here because
Yeah,
the Baltimore Ravens were able to do that when they were on defense, and the offensive line for the Bears were just kind of like moving and shifting a little bit just to like shift their stance. And the Ravens are like, no, 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 that's a false start. That's a false start. And they
yeah,
actually got a call on that. So I do like that a lot in terms of like goading them to screw up, right?
yeah.
Let's flip it to the other side then. What is the factor that the Bears have? What's going to lead the Bears to victory tomorrow?
Scoring touchdowns instead of field goals. I mean that's the big one, right? But red zone efficiency. This is the game to get it right. You're one of the worst in the league at doing it, playing the worst in the third worst in the league at defending it. So go
Hmm.
out there and show you can do it. And if they do that, I think they win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same points that we're making. Penalties and scoring in the red zone. Penalties and scoring in the red zone. I want to see. I'm gonna look around at Joe Tooney. I'm gonna look at Darnell Wrights. I'm gonna look at Theo Benedict and be like, guys, you can only have like a penalty or two, and that's it. That's all that you can have, and you got to be able to score touchdowns. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, this may be kind of a special teams game too, because one of the biggest plays in that Ravens Bears game was them pinning the Bears at the 1 yard line, and that led to the interception that pretty much ended it.
Right. Yeah. All right, Rick. So what's your prediction then for the Chicago Bears Cincinnati Bengals? Again, the Bengals are a 2.5 point underdog at home. I believe the over under is something like 51.5 points.
Which seems
Uh,
high, especially this time of year. I don't know what the weather in Cincinnati is going to be like tomorrow.
right, right. But who wins the game and why, Rick? And what's your score?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Bears. And I think it's going to be by just a couple more points than that, maybe about a 4 or 5 point game. I'm going with a 31-27. Um, I think the Bears win because they do control their mistakes. They do take advantage of some opportunities in the red zone, and because I don't I think they're gonna put the Bengals in too much of a hole that they won't be able to come back out of it, and the Bengals make a mistake or two down the road
Hmm.
or down the line. Sorry.
It's funny because I can't help but to think that this is going to be another ugly game. No Adonis, nice. I thought Caleb Williams was going to be a bust, but he's looking like the real deal. Caleb Williams is still he's not a quarterback that you win because of yet.
Not yet.
He is somebody that is going to make mistakes. And one of the things that I was watching on film, especially when he scrambles, he's got one pitch when he throws the ball when he scrambles, and that is to fire it as fast as he possibly can. He doesn't really have the layers of throwing yet, and he's either way too excited and way too fast or moving too slow. He hasn't found that nice middle ground where he can just be comfortable in the pocket or even out of the pocket. So right now he's either trying to do too much or he's trying to do too little to let things develop. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to this, he's still got a big learning curve, and that's why I think that the Bears are going to win tomorrow. But I think it's going to be another ugly game. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be like a 19-15 game, 19-14 game.
Oh.
I'm not predicting that much of a scoring game. I think it's going to be boring. I think, and this is just again me as a Bears fan, just knowing right around this time of year, this is where the games
Yeah.
get really like, did we just watch a game? Like what happened there? And until they prove me wrong with this new coaching staff, that's what I'm going to kind of feel. It was much like the game last week, just how boring of a game was.
Yeah.
I I think the best part about last week going to Baltimore was the fact that I got to meet George McCaskey.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
That was great. I mean, no, Rick, I mean, have you ever been to Baltimore, the
I've
stadium?
not been to that stadium. I've been to Baltimore several times. I've seen some games at Camden. I mean, I know it's the Orioles, but I've never seen a game with the Ravens there. We lived in Maryland for a while when we were younger, and I was in
Yeah.
high school. But the Ravens weren't the Ravens yet; they were still the Cleveland Browns.
Right. I've been to
Yeah.
the stadium once, and that was like you had already gone over to college, so I went to the Ravens Stadium one time, and I gotta say, again, both of us predict the Bears to win tomorrow. We're talking about last week really quick because this was a really really cool story. My wife and I, you go down this thing once you get so you cross Camden Yards, which
Okay.
is an amazing baseball stadium. You go down this thing called Ravens Walk, and it's just this big thing where all the tailgating people just like funnel in there, and everybody basically goes to the same entrance. But before you get to the entrance into the stadium, about 50 yards before that, there's an overpass for a highway. And underneath that, they've got a live band against the wall. They've got these bars going on to the right. And in the middle, you have everybody coming down. And remember, the Baltimore Ravens have a live band on the field all the time. They've got a live
Oh
band like
wow,
a
like a marching band?
college, like a marching band. That's what they did for the halftime show was a marching band. So that whole marching band came in and started playing. I think it was "Yeah" by Usher, right? So you're hearing all the brass going, and it was awesome, right? It was a lot of fun. So my wife and I are walking around trying to interview people to get some content. And I noticed this one guy with like a very like nice suit and tie, orange and blue stripes. And I'm like, wait, I know that guy. And I look at Sam and I go, wait, that's George McCaskey. She goes, who? And I was like, that's the chairman for the Chicago Bears. And I noticed right behind him, he's got like two security guys with like earpieces. So she's like, go say hi. And I was like, all right. So I went up and I was like, listen, my family and I were huge fans. Just wanted to say thank you, good luck today, kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, I'm still a little bit surprised that he's even at this tailgate in Baltimore. It's not like
Yeah.
it's a home game, right? So finally I go, do you mind if I get a picture? But the problem was I had two beers in my hands, right? And he looks down, he
Of course
looks up, he
you
goes,
did. Of
yeah,
course you
sure,
did.
that's fine. And I'm like, because I can tell he wants me to get rid of the beers. And he's like, and I'll pin this in one of the videos that we do this later. He goes, hey, let me hold on to those. So you'll notice in the picture of us that McCaskey's arms are behind his back because he's holding both me and my wife's beer as we're taking the photo. And I look at him afterwards. I was like, thanks a lot. He goes, yeah, sure. And he takes all the beers and he looks and goes, didn't spill a drop, did I?
I have a feeling he's done that a lot for other two fisted Bears fans.
Oh my gosh. And that,
Hey,
it
I got this.
was,
Let me throw these behind my back here. Take a little picture with you, pal.
yeah. It was so fun, but it was so cool about how like approachable he was and how he just like literally for an away game, like what are the odds that I would see him in Baltimore? Not expecting
Yeah.
that whatsoever. So it's just kind of like a cool and all the fans are looking around like, man, this is really awesome. I even looked at the security guy behind. I was like, hey, thanks for letting me do that. He's like, no problem. He does this all the time.
I wonder if he's scouting what other stadiums are doing in preparation for the Bears building their new one.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe, maybe, but I've heard that he does go into this into the fans like tailgate in Chicago. I just didn't think that he would do it in an away game, especially like underneath this overpass of a highway that was just like this hodgepodge kind of thing. But it was really really cool to see. Maybe one day we'll break out and go to Cincinnati sometime.
Why?
I heard what I said.
Hey, kids, get in the car. We're going to Cincinnati.
Why?
Yay.
Yeah, I heard what I said. Yeah,
Let's have some chili, I guess.
yeah, yay. What is in Cincinnati? That okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what you would do on a trip to Cincinnati, so
We can go see the famous whatever that is.
yeah, that's a building there, and
We can go throw
that
turkey up a building. That happened in Cincinnati, right?
what happened?
Super old reference, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, I know they have a big, like, theater conservatory because of course I would. It's about all I would know. right? But anyway, we're gonna. This is going on for too long. Last week was a lot of fun in Baltimore. We are back to watch the games both at our homes in Chicago and Connecticut. Rick, I'm looking forward to seeing this game right now, and hoping for a Bears victory because again, 5-3 sounds a lot better than 4-4, and then you have an opportunity to go 6-3 against the Giants next week. That's going to be really, really awesome if we can do that. Let's get some momentum. Rick, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, again, if we win this week, we'll tie the amount of wins we had all last year. So let's do it.
Let's
You
go.
know,
In Ben Johnson, we trust. CJ Gardner Johnson is on our team now. That's a nice little boost. Let's
Travis
see what
Porter playing
happens.
running back.
Rick's predicting exactly what ESPN is predicting: a high flying, high powered offensive game, 31-27. I'm predicting an ugly 19-15. Like, was that even worth watching kind of thing? But we're both predicting a Bears victory, which is amazing. If we're feeling up to it, we'll be back tomorrow after the game to discuss what's happening. But if it goes the way I'm thinking it's going to go, we might be asleep and not even want to be up right at that point.
That's like a Bears fan way of looking at things. I bet this game's going to suck too. I bet there's going to be another boring game.
Oh my gosh.
Full of field goals and punts. Can't wait.
Uh, I feel bad for anybody who's a Bears fan that's trying to teach other people like how the game is played and the rules. It's like, no, when they get a first down and they punt. Oh, okay. All right. Well, the next time when they get a first and they punt. Okay. Well, the next time, and then you're like, no, just watch some team that's good.
Yeah, see the other team what they're doing? That's how football's played.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See what the other team is doing. So hopefully we'll be that team at some point in time soon. New stadium, new coach, all that. We'll see what's going on. But until then, we'll actually just take it game by game. And hopefully we get our good to be our better and our better to be our best. Rick, we'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Never let it rest. Bear down.